So what happens next? Mr. Bean came into the vortex with us and showed us how to strap ourselves into the seats, one at each end of the evil seesaw. My seat was, obviously, too small. I had to tuck my legs up really tight to get into the harness. Now that we were in there, I could see that Florida was starting to get nervous. I said, "Mr. Bean, has anyone ever died on this?" "On this old thing? No, sir, not a one." He tapped some wire things to the end of our fingers. "Please, don't say, but there's always a first time." "Well now, I'm going to make sure that you're not the first. I'm going to monitor all your heartbeats and whatnot. You start to malfunction, I'll stop the whole thing." For a while nothing happened. It was just really, really quiet. Florida said, "I'm really, really scared now." But just think, if we're really, really scared, they must be really, really, really scared. And in a few minutes, we won't be scared at all. You'll be all right, princess. Actually, you can stop calling me princess now. It sounds weird when you say it. Thanks all the same. There was a deafening thunk. We both screamed. Our chairs jumped sideways, then stopped dead. I thought, it's broken. Then it started. If you've ever been on the Cosmic, you'll know what 4G is like. You feel a bit sick and scared, but if you spread your arms out and pretend you're flying, you feel better. As you blast into the air, you can think, this is bad, but this is as bad as it gets. It gets easier any second. But the vortex was different. On Vortex, 4G was only the beginning. A voice came over the loudspeaker telling us we were now at 5G. You can't spread your arms out at 5G. You can't move them at all. It feels like the air has turned concrete and you're stuck in it. It's hard to breathe, but you think, we must be near the end now. We must slow down now. But we didn't slow down. We went faster. The voice said we were at 8G. Now my eyeballs felt like shriveled raisins. I couldn't see anything except a muddy blur. But still we didn't stop. We went faster. At 12G, you felt flat, two-dimensional, like Itchy and Scratchy run over by a steamroller. I thought I was dead. I was even starting to enjoy being dead when I heard the voice again saying we were now at 15G. The sentence didn't come and go like an ordinary sentence. It seemed to stay in my ears steady like the noise of a humming top. Then my chest exploded, but the air was so thick that all the bits of me couldn't fly away. They just stayed there, in the same shape but not connected anymore. Then we slowed down. But that was just like Itchy and Scratchy too, when the steamroller's gone and someone comes along with a foot pump and pumps them back up to their normal shape. Amazing. For a minute I didn't say anything because I thought if I opened my mouth I might deflate again. I looked over at Florida and she was saying something like, "Ha ha ha, woohoo!" And I said, "Cock-a-doodle-doo," which is not something I usually say. The door opened. I was so proud of us that I tried to stroll out and swagger past the others. Unfortunately, I seemed to have lost my swagger control skills and ended up swaggering sideways. "Sit down, Florida. Sit down, Mr. Digby. Take a rest. You've done very well." I think she probably meant to sit down on something, but as soon as she said it, I let my legs go, and so did Florida. We just sort of plonked ourselves down on the floor. Monsieur Martinet was still hissing at Max. Eddie Xanadu was pleading with Dr. Drax to let Hassan be excused. Dear little Hassan really doesn't want to do it. I'm afraid dear little Hassan will have to do it unless he doesn't want to go to space. I thought, some people just have no control. And everyone went quiet and looked at me. Apparently I'd said this out loud. Very loud. "So," snarled Monsieur Martinet, "you think you can do better?" "I think I already did." I shrugged and pointed at Florida, and she gave a cheeky little wave. I should have left it at that, but now that he'd said it, I did think I could do better. Samson too was now squealing, "I'm not going, I'm not going." And to think they'd laughed at Florida. It would serve his dad right if I could get his son to go in there when he couldn't. I decided to engage. "Hey, Samson too, what's the biggest ride you've ever been on?" He looked blank. "Have you been on an inverted roller coaster?" "No." "An ordinary roller coaster?" "No." "Inverted bungee?" "I was on a seesaw once." seesaw. Not a real seesaw, it was really a large model used for demonstrating the action of vectors around a fulcrum. But while my father wasn't looking, I sat on it. Sorry, Father. So there was no one on the other end of the seesaw? No, but I solved that problem easily by propelling myself upwards with my legs repeatedly, in effect making myself into a vector. And that's the only ride you've ever been on? A one-ended seesaw? It was fun. No wonder he was scared. Imagine going on something like the Vortex if you've never even been on a proper seesaw. I tried to explain to him about rides, about how in a few months' time the dome would be full of people paying money, queuing up, desperately wanting to go into the Vortex for fun. But why won't they be scared? Oh, they will be scared. They will be terrified. But they want to be terrified. It's a nice feeling, a tingly feeling. And they'll be with their friends, and their friends will be teasing them and daring them. You know, we're very lucky we've beaten the queues. He looked over at the Vortex and said, "Okay, I'll go." I grinned at Samson 1, thinking, that'll teach you to laugh at us. Then Samson 2 said, "As long as you come with me." What? You say it's fun. You must want to do it again. Well, it wouldn't be fair on your dad if I took his turn. Oh, I don't mind, said Samson 1, a bit too quickly. Well, maybe Dr. Drax wouldn't agree. Well, it's hard to fault the child's logic, Mr. Digby, said Dr. Drax, and once you're rested, there's no reason why you shouldn't go into the Vortex again. It wasn't so bad the second time. The only trouble was I was just thinking to myself, this seat is tiny. I'm really uncomfortable and I can't move, when he came to the bit where time stands still. So that big, depressing thought just sat there in the front of my brain for ages and ages, blotting everything out and making it all seem worse. So if you ever have to endure a period of prolonged weightiness, my tip is that you try and have a happy thought. When we'd finished, it took Samson 2 a moment to get his breath. Then he said, "Is it over?" "Yes." "What did you think?" "It was very informative." "Informative?" "Yes, gravity's not a bit like it looks in the diagrams."